Hello, are you ready for tip number 6 in our Spring Forward 25-day challenge? Well, you're in the right place. My friend here is going to show you how we can put together several different elements in our Spring Forward challenge. I'm Marnie Ginsberg, and this is Reading Simplified. I'm sorry if that's a little too loud for you guys. I'll move the microphone.
What?
It's fine. I'm just talking to them. And if you are just tuning in, say hi, let us know where you're from. And if you have been participating in our Spring Forward challenge, let us know how it's going. If you started with us at the beginning, you may be on to week 2. And if you're on week 2 and you're doing Monday, this would be what your routine would look like. Switch it, read it, and guided reading. This is the first time we're doing guided reading. So just a few days ago, I talked about some key tips for guided reading. And in the previous videos, I've talked about switch it and read it. So now I thought it would be nice to have you see what it would look like to put it all together. So I have my young kindergarten friend here who is going to do 2 word work activities with me and 1 guided reading session and or text, maybe 2, depending on the time. Go a little quieter would be nice for me. Thank you. And that will show you the beginnings of a good, simple 3-part structure that I use for guide reading that works with any kid, really, who's beginning or struggling or striving, whether they're kindergarten or literally, truly, whether they're 14 or 15 and they're having trouble. The same structure applies. We just change the words and the text. So what we're going to see today is these things in action. So tip number 6 is really kind of how you're going to start to put it together. Because when we started out with the Spring Forward Challenge, it was easier because there was only 1 thing per day. It's first we started out with switch it by itself, and then we added in read it. And so we've just been doing 2 activities, but now we're making it a little bit more like a real guided reading session because we're going to have 2 word work activities and 1 guided reading text. And if you want to know what I'm talking about and you haven't gotten involved, then please go to the link in the post above and get this free 25-day lesson plan. It's for anyone who's struggling or beginning reading at the kindergarten level or early 1st grade level, and you can follow it as it is, scripted, or you can adjust it and use it with some kids higher. And we're calling it a challenge because the traditionally I experienced, cool, look what he's done. Traditionally, I think I experienced this, and many of you experience this, that at the end of the school year we're kind of sluggish and things are challenging and our students are squirmy and we may be dissatisfied with how some of our kids have been performing. So if we try a few different activities that we haven't ever tried before, or tweaks on the old thing that are very effective and get really quick results, then perhaps we would be motivated, we would see some progress. And besides the progress that I expect that you'll see if you follow this Spring Forward plan and these key activities, we'll also have some games and some prizes. So if you go to that post, you'll find the prizes. Now what I'm going to do right now is forward this into the group that many of you participate in, which is the Level Up Your Readers Achievement in the Next 5 Days group. So I'm forwarding that, and then we'll get started with the 3 activities that I'm going to show you today. And they will be how, that'll be tip number 6. Okay. Okay, it's good. You guys ready for tip number 6? Here we go. Can you put your board aside? Show them what you've created, and then we'll get started with switch it.
I'm not done with it.
Well, you can do that later, remember? So you have something to look forward to. Actually, we'll use this side. If you're just tuning in, let us know who you are, where you're from. Okay, I'm going to take it, and we'll have this something to do. It'll be something to look forward to. Ooh, stripes. Is that cool or what? We haven't used that one before. Okay, which color are you going to use? Which one of these colors? This is going to be an example of switch it from the Spring Forward Challenge. Pick a color. Pick a color.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let me take this out of your way so that you can focus on this. All right, here we go. I'm going to write the first nonsense word. Now, he's so advanced, he is doing nonsense words. So he's going to get This is his nonsense word. Can you try to read that for me? Doesn't make sense. It's not real.
Swift.
Very nice. He said swift. Okay, let's switch swift to swept. Swept.
Swept.
Wow, he nailed it. Look at that, folks. Tell me the sounds. And his job is to change each sound. And when he does that, he's really developing his phonemic segmentation and phonemic manipulation in particular. That is developing cognitive flexibility, which will be a great tool for him as he reads harder and harder words, especially multisyllable words. Okay, are you ready? Slept. Okay, tell me the sounds. And the word is?
Slept.
Slept. Okay. You want to show them off? Show it off. There's, oh, get a little lower. There's slept. Okay, it's nonsense because he's so far advanced. Let's switch it to slust. Slust. Most of the Spring Forward Challenge starts at 3 sounds. So did he get slust? He did. Okay, switch it to slast. The three sounds would be where you would start for phonemic difficulty. Then you would move to 4 sounds like CVCC words. Oh, he's so fast. He's got slast. I can't even keep up. Okay, let's do a real word. Slant. This is on a slant.
Okay.
So he's going to move. He moved from 3 sounds to 4 sounds to 5 sounds, like a CCVCC word. And then he was able to do that so easily and so quickly. I want to be able to challenge his phonemic manipulation rapidly. So I'm kind of pushing him to the hardest level, which would be for 1-syllable words, nonsense words, because you can make these changes really quickly. Oh my goodness, look at that. He's nailing this. Okay, one more. So we're going to switch a couple more vowels. We've done 2 vowels. Let's switch it to, I'm going to make this challenging because I'm going to make 2 switches. Here is, ready? Slest.
Celeste.
Very nice. Tell me each sound separately. Way to go. Erase it. Okay. So he did a hard level of switch it right there. That's the first part of word work. That's so good for letter sound correspondence and phonemic manipulation. And now we're going to do read it. Okay? That's not what I said to do. Do you remember what I said to do? Stop. Okay? Because we're going to do the next thing. You get to use a different color if you want. Erase. You want to keep that color? So we're going to move into read it. And read it is important because you're 1/3 done. You only have 2 more activities, and this one's with the dry erase board, which is pretty cool. Okay, so read it is where he. Yes, we can do tic-tac-toe. That's a good idea. So read it is where he practices the blend as you read strategy, and he wants to play tic-tac-toe, so we'll make an adaptation for him. Games are always the best. All right. So I'm going to just build a tic-tac-toe board where he's going to practice blend as you read. Okay.
How do you play it again?
Well, at first, don't write on it because we're going to keep the board. Okay, good. First, we're going to keep the board clean, and then we're going to start reading. Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing. Okay. And what I'm trying to focus on are CCVC words where he has to be challenged at that middle and end of the word. Ooh. And if it's 2 letters, I'm putting them together as 1 sound. Are you ready to pick a word? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead and pick a word.
Close. What is this? Cloak.
Okay, cloak is a good guess. It's a very good guess. But let me tell you, if this...
Clock.
Yes, that's right. Like, you figured out. So he made that switch. So that's how his phonemic manipulation is really helpful. So you pick that. I'm going to go with... swim. Okay? Swim. And I got to fill out a word over here. I'm having a hard time thinking of this many words. Okay, here's a good one. Oh, don't read it. It might be mine. Okay. So we're doing blend as you read, which is part of the read it strategy.
Green.
Okay. And he,
Green.
so far, he wanted to play a game. So far we've got several words that have adjacent consonants at the beginning and the end. But I'm blocking that, so that's not maybe the best part to pick. I'm going to pick this right over here. This is a guy's name. No, I'm going to pick this one. This is Stay. No, and I meant to put this as the one color. Okay. Which one are you going to pick? You can read them all and I'll help you, but think about which one is the best one for your strategy. If you're just tuning in, we're doing 3 parts in a guide reading structure.
I trapped you.
Oh, but you got to read it before you knock it out.
Plant.
Except this is at.
Plant.
Do you have any of those around your house? Yeah, very good.
Yes.
Say hi and tell us where you're from if you're just tuning in. He's doing Read It, a variation on it since he wanted to play. Uh-oh, I got to block him. I think I have to read this word. Uh-oh, what happens if I read that one?
I'll go there.
But that means, well, look. Swept. I swept the floor, and it looks like I swept the boards. Bummer, dude. We'll have to play this next time, okay? Since now you know a little bit. Clint,
I won.
you won that one. And this one is
And I won.
play. Okay. So the other part of Read It that's really helpful is to actually write the words afterwards. So let's do that, okay? Will you help me erase? All right. So Read It is really 2 parts. He reads the word and then he writes it. And when he writes it, he says the sounds as he does it. You're almost done with this part and then we'll read and you'll be done. You'll get a nice break.
Hey.
We did eraser bumps.
Mhm.
Okay, you ready to read this word?
G.
I got a word for you. Can you read this word?
Train.
Did you get it right, folks? Oh, Lexi says hi, and Angela says she's making some progress. Great. Okay, so you read train. That was really pretty easy for him. What are you going to do now? You get to pick 2 colors to write this word, okay? Ready? Go. Write the word. Say the sounds.
I didn't pick those colors.
Well, you got 2 there. You can pick whichever ones you want. Don't let that one slip, though. There. He's going to work on that word.
It was.
He's doing train. And what we're trying to explain is how all these 3 components in the Spring Forward Challenge this week might work together. Okay, so show us how you do the right part, okay? How does that happen? Go ahead. You remember. You say the sound and you write it. That's it. Okay, and the last step we get to erase together. And we say the sounds as we do it so that we Nice job. Okay, you can color for a second while I don't be too hard on my markers, please.
I'm gonna go.
We got that was two things. We got one more thing, but you can draw for a second while I tell you're fans of something.
The ball.
Yeah, he's going to get to play with the ball as soon as he's done his third thing. It's hard to work after a full day of kindergarten. So we did switch it and we did read it. We did not do these lists because these are too easy for him because he is super advanced. He's a star kindergarten reader. High five me. Are you leaving me hanging? Oh, man. Oh, there we go. And so I hope that you notice there's a lot of sound and symbol correspondence happening in those activities. He's working on phonemic segmentation, phonemic manipulation, and phonemic blending. And he's working at a high level. He's not just working at... You did that. He's not just working at 3 sounds or 4 sounds and 5 sounds. He's moving up to the hardest level and even nonsense words, which I don't use very often, but it's helpful in Switch It because then you really challenge the phonemic manipulation, having to go back and forth between those sounds. Now, let's move on to guided reading, which is the last component for this day. The full lesson would probably have a rereading for fluency, but we're going to add that later this week because we're just gradually revealing different elements of a full guided reading lesson. Okay, so for guided reading, I talked about this a couple days ago. There's 3 things I want you guys to remember. Number 1, can include the transfer of the blend as you read strategy that we practice with Read It. He did it automatically here, and if your students don't automatically put sounds together as they go, and instead they go b, l, a, n, d, and then try to read it, go back and find a previous Facebook Live, or go to readsimplified.com/start here, or click on the Start Here button, and you can find information about Read It so you can teach the blend as you read strategy. Whew, he's got a full page. He's having some fun with that marker. So when you do the blend as you read with Read It, you also want to transfer into guided reading. That's the place that it all comes together. So work hard at getting kids to blend the sounds together as they go in guided reading. Secondly, if the text is too hard, don't let that stop you. Just buddy read it. So the student may read one word, the teacher may read one word. The students may read a word or a sentence, and the teacher may read a sentence, or maybe they take turns with paragraphs. So that's a way to adjust to the text difficulty, which may be very hard, depending on all the things you've got going on in your classroom. And then thirdly, for guided reading, make sure you end with a summary. Okay, today we're going to be doing a nursery rhyme, so the summary may not be that great, but usually if you're using a story, you should be able to develop a good summary. Okay, so those are 3 critical elements of guided reading. Now, he's been working on the sound in school, and I haven't worked with him on that, but I think this will be a pretty easy passage for him to read. So we're going to tack on the 3rd component of a good session guided reading right now. Let me show you the passage that we're working on. So this is from inside the Reading Simplified Academy, and it's an example of just a text that the student would read, and then the student would be focusing on a particular sound, and then the student would search for that sound. Now this is a level higher than what, ooh, very cool design. This is higher than the level of the current challenge, week 2, just because this is where my student is, but some of the principles will still apply for guided reading, and then you can also maybe imagine where you would go next once your kids got past the short vowel level. Okay, oh, I like it. Oh, interesting, you've got a cross in there. You made it in the white space. That's really well done. Thank you for showing us that. Let's put that off to the side and you can show your mom. I love it. And then we'll do the guide reading, then you'll be done until you get that break.
Just one of the, just this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch
Good.
a pail of water.
What did they do? They fetched a pail of water? You know what that means? They grabbed it? Okay. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
Oh, I think you knew that. You kind of figured that out, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty easy. What happened?
They went up the hill to get water from a well.
And then what happened? What was the problem?
They fell down.
And both of them fell down, or?
One did and one went after.
Okay, and who's the person that got hurt? Okay, so I noticed that he was able to remember that poem, that nursery rhyme, and start reading it really easily. Can you do one different story for me? Since that was so easy. I've got one that's kind of cool. This is from Starfall. Have you done this one yet? This is called Surfer Girl. So I noticed he read that so easily because he's learned that, and that's okay. But some kids don't know this nursery rhyme, so it's good to be able to expose them to that. And but I didn't give him enough chance to practice his decoding because he already knew that. So that's why I want to fold in the chance for him to read Surfer Girl, and then he'll be done with his break until his break. Surfer Girl is from starfall.com, and it is great because it really gives you all those different spellings of the sound, which aligns really well with the sorted activity, which we're working on coming up soon. If you are looking ahead to week 4, you'll see that we have a sorted activity. It's not this one per se because it's a different sound, but this is the idea. The student reads each spelling or reads a word and then sorts by spelling. And so he gets exposure to all the main spellings of And so it's hard to find texts where several different spellings are practiced. So that's why I like these Starfall texts. You are up, my young friend. Look at him run. Zippity doo-dah. Okay, Surfer Girl. Let's read a little bit of it. I might do the buddy reading because it's been a long kindergarten day.
Fair.
Yep, that's close. Her name. That's an sound right there.
Fern.
That's her name. Fern.
Likes to surf. Bird.
Fern likes to surf at Bird. Read along with me. Fern likes to surf at Bird Rock. That was a great start. I'll read the next page, okay? Ready? Can you follow with your eyes?
Mm-hmm.
The camera can't see you. It's wondering, did he disappear? Come back here, please. Watch with your eyes. Here we go. Bird Rock. Bird Rock has the best waves. They do look tremendously large. Now this will be your page to read, okay? Let's see how he does it. We'll do it together. You can do it. This is the first word.
Here is a big wave. Fern has to turn.
Fern has to turn
fast.
Here is a big wave. Fern has to turn fast. Okay, so what's going on so far in our story?
She's turning into the wave.
And what's her name?
Fern.
So Fern is a surfer and she's turning into the wave. Thank you so much. You did a great job.
I read the book.
Yeah, we're not going to finish the whole book right now. You've worked hard and you deserve a break. So that was...
I'll bring the board back.
That was a pretty good example of the 3 elements of a guided reading structure that I'd like, or the guided reading text part that I'd like to recommend. That blend as you read. When he got to the word fern, he was putting the sounds together as he went. He said fern, and then he needed to change the to the air to the sound. Thanks for the likes. Yes, he did a great job. And so he did the blend as you read, and I also covered up the ending sounds. That's fine. He's brought his board back. I covered up the ending sounds so he would just see that, and help him to focus on the beginning sounds, to blend them as he read. And then he's getting a little tired. It's been a long day, so I buddy read with him. I asked him to read the first page and the third page, and I read the second page. And then I even cut it short so that we didn't even finish the book because he needs to take a break, but he still read some advanced stuff. This is very challenging for where he started out. In November, he could not read 3 sound words, and he had 7 letter sounds. So this is really great progress for a kindergartner. And then finally, even though we hadn't read the whole thing, I still asked him for a summary of what he'd done so far. So that is today's tip number 6. How to start to put all these elements together. We've been adding them gradually, and hopefully you can see how the whole thing starts to fit together. Again, his level is harder than what this specifically says, because this is for a beginning reader, and he's advanced beyond that. But still, you can adjust the words and still incorporate the same principles. And then, so we are in week 2. Later on this week, we'll add in fact, tomorrow, we will add in rereading for fluency. So I have another student coming, so maybe we'll see if we can do that whole lesson plan of word work, 2 components of word work, switch it and read it, rereading for fluency, and guided reading, because really that is all that is involved in a strong guided reading session. But today we just did word work and guided reading because we're just gradually folding in. If you guys have comments or questions, I would love to hear them. If you didn't catch the live, then let me know later, and I'll still follow up. Angela, I'm so glad to hear that you love this concept of the Spring Forward Challenge, and you're having some fun, and you're learning. That's really awesome. We'll be doing regular Facebook Lives. We'll be emailing folks who get to the blog posts and get this free Spring Forward Challenge, just with other tips, and also with links back to these Facebook Lives if you missed them. But don't miss the opportunity to get a free prize. Besides the freebies that will be kind of sprinkled throughout the challenge, which you would find on the last page. Besides those freebies, there's another freebie that is a little more expensive value. This is how you would get some of the freebies, by clicking here. By June 15th, if you've reported how your student or students have done with the Spring Forward Challenge, in the comments on the blog post above, you will get a free sorted packet, which is several pages of the E sound, not the that I happen to be showing, but it's a similar thing, the E sound, and several reading passages that go along with it, like this. So this is all from the Reading Simplified Academy, which is a membership where we teach you how to really work less as a reading teacher, but get even greater results for your students. So everyone who participates by just writing comments about how they've done on the challenge will win at least that, and one person will win a 3-month membership to the Reading Simplified Academy, and another person will win 5 sorted packets. So there's a lot of opportunities for prizes, and everybody can be a winner just by commenting. So again, thanks for tuning in. Let us know where you're from. Let us know how it's going, and if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. And if you were just finding out about us and you want to learn more, you can go to the post above. There's other things you can learn about the Reading Simplified approach, which is streamlined for the teacher, but also accelerates students' learning. And yet, and what was I going to say about that? Sorry. Oh, I also wanted you to know that if you want to not miss a Facebook Live, click on the little arrow at the top of this post and click on Get Notifications so you don't miss any future ones. So thanks for tuning in, you guys.